Welcome to Minot Talk this Wednesday
Good morning.
morning.
It is. It's Wednesday. It's 9 a.m. It's the right time, but the day's a little
We're
off.
doing a special episode because we had the opportunity to bring on somebody that is very passionate about what happened, the news that broke last week with the Who's Fest ending. And that is Amber. She started the page Save Norsk Hostfest Traditions over the last week, has blown up, and it is still climbing. And so thank you for joining us today, Amber.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, first off, I know that the Husfest has had a little bit of impact in your life. You said that's been an impact for nearly 30 years. Kind of talk about what the Husfest means to you and why it has had that kind of impact in your life.
Yeah, so when I was a young child, my grandma and grandpa gave us tickets for Christmas one year and said, "We're going to Host Fest this next year, ready or not." And we were like, "What is this?" Like, all right, it's an experience, let's go. And the entire family went, and we just made so many memories in just a short time we went. And it became a tradition every year. It's something, we counted down the days and the months to, and went with grandma and grandpa. That was just our yearly thing. And it just really just boosted our interest in the heritage, and exposure that we hadn't had. My grandpa was a tried and true Swede, and he was, proud of it. And we're like, we want to learn more. And so it turned into camping for 10 days with grandma and grandpa
Wow.
and RRVs and going up there and just connecting with people. And so that's kind of how it started. And then I became Miss Norsk Hostfest again, just trying to just show the pride of the culture and share the word about the festival and the things that it stood for. And then, I got married, had kids, and now just carrying on that tradition. It's just been really special. I think there's just so much to learn about our Scandinavian heritage. And, thankfully there are several opportunities in different groups around that we're able to, start learning more. But I
Right.
just don't want this to be a generational gap that, grandma and grandpa pulled us into this, but then, my generation doesn't carry it on to the next. And so I'm really passionate about it for that reason. It's just important to get kids interested in a fun way and learn, like, there's so much to our family
Absolutely.
history and
Mhm.
things. So
Absolutely. Already we have like a discrepancy here. This is a really good conversation.
Yep.
Is it Who's Fest or is it Host Fest? Like break this down for us because you know this better than we do. So how do you say this?
okay, so I had friends from Norway. The
Hmm.
Kentucky Riders came over and performed for a few years over there. And so we had this discussion. They're like, "You guys are like Hostafesta or Hostafest," and they're just like, they're laughing when we're saying it, and I'm just like, "Why are you laughing?" "Well, because you're saying it's a coughing fest," and I was like, "Wait, what?"
That's
So we learned
hilarious.
quickly it was Hostafest, and so
There
Okay.
we go.
yes, we.
There we go. The very exact pronunciation there. That's hilarious. All right. So last week the news broke that the board of directors was going to go ahead and dissolve. This is last
Hmm.
Thursday that this news broke. Um,
Right around this time.
right around this time,
Yeah.
last Thursday, right around 9 a.m. last Thursday, you almost immediately went and sprung into action. Talk us through that. Like, why was there such an immediate response, and kind of what's your goals here?
So I was actually on the phone with my mom, and all of a sudden she's like, "Wait, did you just see what got posted?" And I was like, "Well, I thought we were having a conversation. Why are we
Right.
looking on Facebook right now, right?" But
Exactly.
anyway, we looked at it, and I mean, instant tears. It was just like, literally, just it's a loss. I mean,
Hmm.
for me, it was just the reminiscing. Grandma and grandpa have since passed, and it's just reminiscing on, like, wait, this tradition's not going to be anymore, and this can't happen. And
Right.
I'm a go-getter. I'm not somebody that wants to sit on it. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? There's always good that can come out of the sad times or the hard times. And so let's rally together. And at the time it was like, of course your initial reaction is like, okay, can we overturn this? Can we like get them to convince to do one more year? And let's just really show up and make it happen.
Right.
But the business side of me was like, let's be practical about this, and
Hmm.
let's just see how we can reshape this and what it could look like. And just the amount of response I got immediately was absolutely insane. And it's just a testament to what people feel at the Host Fest brought to their lives too. And they want it to continue. So
Yeah, for sure. Like I know there was a lot of, it was, maybe people have seen the Hostfest has been having some issues over the last few years here, but I don't think anybody expected it to really shut down as abruptly as it did last week. And so I think that
yeah.
shock really hit hard across the state. And obviously you felt it too. And we were live when it
Yeah, I would
happened. It
say
was a mess.
across the state and beyond, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, because my friends in Norway reached out right away and they're just like, this can't be happening. This is so unfortunate. They thought the world of what we did here.
Yeah. Talk about that for a moment, because I think that part's lost. Sometimes gets lost. We know that people come in from out of country
It's a
to this
global
deal.
thing.
It's a
Yeah.
global thing. We realize that. But talk about the actual impact. You've developed friends across the globe from this huge event that has happened here in Minot every year. Talk about that part, how you were able to develop those friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, really, it was just everybody goes to the festival, right? And I feel like you could be best friends with the person next to you. You can strike up a conversation, and it's just an environment like no other. And the entertainers as well, like they love walking the halls and interacting. And so that's how we kind of started chatting with these Norwegians, and we were just like, okay, tell us like what is it really like over there, because we've
Yeah.
never been there. And then it was, how do we count Norwegian? Like start teaching us some of that. And one thing is my friend Tarad over there with the Kentucky Riders, he loved going into the schools. And
Okay.
he came over here and was just mesmerized by the festival. He's like, I think you guys celebrate this even better than we do over there
Wow.
sometimes. And really was impressed by it. And the biggest impact that he walked away with was being in the schools and being able to share the fairy tales and troll stories and all the things with the kids and just sparking their love of learning about it. And then he actually reached out to me the other day and he's just like, hey, I've got your back. I'm going to do what I can from afar. And I know there are a lot of, this is a relationship between Ski Norway and Hostfest. That's been a really vital piece of this. And so I guess my hope is that we can continue those relationships, because what better way to learn than the people that are immersed in that culture every day? So.
Exactly. The culture part of this obviously is the huge driving force. But you when you started this Save Norsk Husfest, and I think you changed the name to Save Norsk Husfest Traditions, because there's probably that reality of probably the Husfest as is not going to be saved. But kind of talk us a little bit through not why you started that, but kind of the goals behind this now as you are a week into this. It's still very early, but kind of some of the goals that you hope to see be able to come from this with support of people.
Yeah, I think, the business mindset in me just says, hey, the reality is the scale of what Chester Wrighton developed over the years it was just incredible. And those are big shoes that I don't know anyone's ever going to fill again, for various reasons, because he was just an incredible man, just built the legacy he did, but also economy, the prices of musicians, entertainers, just all those things realistically play a big factor in it. So that side of it just tells me, okay, our goal moving forward is just, we're going to create something that's going to be smaller scale, that's going to be feasible to manage, to allow it to grow, build a platform that we can grow. And I don't want something to just be a 1 year, 2 year thing. Like I want to rebuild something that can be carried on for many, many generations.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not looking at a small scale. Well, let's just do this 1 year to get everybody interested and then let them down again, because I felt that let down, over the years and the progression and changes that happened. And there were a lot of disappointing things. We were like, it's just not the same as when Chester did this, right?
Right.
And so I'm not trying to recreate that, but I do want to bring in the traditions and create a space where everybody can come together and feel that community and that unity that we all share with the heritage. And so that's my goal, is to just create a special place. I mean, I'd rather have a smaller scale event, someplace where we can be shoulder to shoulder and close with our neighbor and know we packed the place because we're all here for the love of it. And also at a price point that families feel like they can come in and enjoy it together, because I think that was a big driving force for some people to stay away. It just got too expensive.
It did there at the end. The last few years post-COVID, especially, unfortunately, the prices had gone up considerably, as with everything really in the world at that point. But the Hostfest, unfortunately, it was noticeable around town. I know Jonathan did an interview with the Minot City manager recently where he was mentioning how a decade ago there were some 7,000 people every year that the city bussed to the Hostfest back and forth from hotels around, compared to, it was either last year or 2 years ago, there's
Last
only
year.
500 people. And it just shows the big difference there. And I know we've already seen some other organizations say around town that they are interested in doing something, whether it be the Scandinavian Heritage Association, a couple others I know have reached out as well. Have you had any communication with them yet?
So I've had brief communication. They are exceptionally busy as well. So waiting for
Understandable.
a more in-depth conversation. It's a couple days into this, and they have a whirlwind going too. But I have had other people reach out with other foundations and nonprofits that
Mhm.
are interested in helping me build something. And so all those conversations are pretty heavy in the works, and it makes me really optimistic and excited about what could be. The Scandinavian Heritage Association, they put on some awesome events already throughout the year. They have the Midsummer Festival, and so they really do a great job throughout the year with some different things. But this experience is something different, right? I mean,
Mhm.
we're used to that community feel. You walk into the building and you feel submersed into the culture, and
Mhm.
that's just what I want to bring back in whatever way I can. So
Yeah, I think like a couple of questions, details about where you're thinking it could go. One of the questions that has come up locally is if something did happen, would it stay in Minot? Would it go be a traveling deal at different locations? And I'm sure that in some ways all the cards are on the table still, and you're not sure. But if in a perfect scenario, in your best case scenario, what is your idea for that stuff of where it would be held?
my mentality is, Minot has hosted this well for almost 50 years. Like, the people of Minot have been really supportive, the businesses throughout with the sponsorships. So I really at this point have no intentions on moving it away from Minot. Minot deserves that recognition and things that they've built as a host city. And so I would love to keep it there. Down the road, I mean, you just never know what challenges
Right.
are going to come up with festivals and things. So, I mean, you can't say long term how that will look, but right now, my focus is keeping it in Minot.
Well, that's exciting.
I love that.
Yeah.
I know Minot would love that too, and we're really looking forward to seeing how this keeps progressing here. I know you were mentioning that you want to keep those costs a little bit more manageable, and obviously it's still so early in the process. A lot of specifics aren't going to be known. But would you expect to see in your iteration of it? Maybe would you expect to see some of those big acts coming in, or would you maybe expect it to be a little bit smaller and more contained?
I think realistically, to kick it off, we would have to keep it a little smaller.
Yeah.
I've actually had quite a few private messages from groups that have come before and performed that said, "Hey, just to keep this thing going, I'm willing to donate my
Wow.
my time and entertain." And so, that support shows me again what's been built and what people don't want to lose. And so, we again start small, but I think there will be um, some recognized faces on the entertainer stages, and again, smaller scale, so meaning one stage, two stages. I mean, what
Mhm.
that venue is going to look like, I have ideas, but logistics are still in the works. So
Right. So if someone wants to support, what is the best way to do this? What kind of support are you actually needing right now? Talk us through that.
yeah, so right now, I'm going to continue to work with a couple of these people I've reached out with, these nonprofits, and just
Hmm.
kind of get a business plan situated and things of that nature. But the support, I put a GoFundMe out there because I'm going to be having some discussions about the possibility of trying to get some of those beloved decorations from the Host Fest hallways, because again, that's pieces that we would love to see brought back.
Right.
Mhm.
But then you have storage costs for that. And
Yeah.
from what I've been told is the amount of storage space and costs, it's pretty astronomical. So
Wow.
we need to look at reevaluating, what that looks like, what's practical. But that kind of support is definitely needed. But then also, my GoFundMe is just going to be to try to get things kicked off. But once we get the nonprofits worked out, and we'll be hitting the ground asking for sponsors. And I know there may be some sponsor fatigue, if you will, within the community, because there have been a lot of businesses really trying to get this thing going again or keep it afloat, right?
Mhm.
So So I know that, I respect that, but I hope that they would still be willing to put some in at a smaller scale to help us kick it off again.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds very exciting. Obviously, we'll drop a link to the Facebook page in the description of this video, but you can go and look save Norsk Hostfest Traditions. If you go to there on Facebook, you'll find the page, and you will be able to find that GoFundMe page where you can support this goal. Appreciate you coming on. As we end this part of the segment, talk about how important you kind of began with it, but full circle, the Scandinavian and the culture and being able to convey that on to the next generation in your family. How important is it to you to be able to convey that on through something like this?
Yeah, it's really important. I have 4 kids here at home that have known nothing but going every single year of their lives, and know my involvement. I helped with some of the decor. I own another business, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of led me into the interactions with some of the people that had led the festival. It just the roots that the community, the culture, submersive experience is just something I want my kids to continue to cherish, and appreciate, and just have a love of learning more about. And so, I always kind of make reference to this. My grandpa told me back several years ago when I was Miss North Hostfest, he's like, Amber Jean, you better be careful because you're going to run the show one day. And I was like, oh, Grandpa, like, there's no way,
Yeah.
but I'll do what I can to volunteer and be a part of it. And
Right.
this opportunity came up, and I kind of had to smile and say, maybe you knew what I didn't. And
Yeah.
so
Grandpas are always
yeah,
right.
full circle for sure.
That's neat.
I
That's
love it.
neat. So very good. Thank you for joining us today to talk about it, and we hope more than hope that this is able to go a very long way.
Yeah, for a fact, again, Amber, appreciate it so much. And we'll be following along. Look forward to see the progression you guys have over the spring and summer, and can't wait to see what next steps are coming in your future.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Very
All right.
cool there.
We got some more stuff to talk about.
We got more stuff, but let's finish talking about this for
Yes,
a moment.
wrap up for a second here.
Because this is a really big deal.
It was. Minot was taken aback by this.
Minot was taken aback by losing the Hostfest, but this is a really big deal. This mission that Amber's on right now to go and find a path forward
Yep.
where this could continue to happen. And so I think it's really neat. Minimum you can do is just go to the Facebook page and like it.
Exactly.
Like that's
Go follow along this journey. This is, again, like we were saying, there's a few different organizations that are all interested in doing some things, but it feels like Amber's page here is going to be kind of a central place for all of this to come together at.
And she's very interested in working with others. This isn't somebody that's trying to make it about their individual goals and stuff like that. This is someone that is very interested in working with whomever and whatever organization that is proper in order to be able to prolong this and obviously create a new path that hopefully is even more sustainable. 50 years is a long time for something to be able to go, and that I mean, it's a difficult thing to hand down through several generations. We talked about this previously, where as cultures begin to mingle and stuff like that, it's really hard to be able to hand that down. So I think it's important for that culture and for North Dakota.
Yeah, it's not like the state fair, which again, it's been going on even probably longer than 50 years at this stage, but also it's so geared for that next generation constantly. Every year, the fair is supposed to try to get the younger crowds out and the more people as possible, but also it has sections that is for the people that have been going for years and years at this point.
Right.
There's something for everyone at the fair, and I think hopefully going forward at the Hostfest, you can see something where it's going to be inclusive for everyone, where it's not, you're not gearing it just for the younger audience, but also you're giving them a chance to have a spot for it, where you also have a spot for maybe those more experienced people that have been going for a long time.
As Carler said, well said on that. And to segue, you said that we have some other stuff to talk about. What's the rundown? I think we got an update on the Brejo trial.
There's an update.
It's a huge update. Let's be real. This is like a big deal. And it's very, depending on where you stand on that, it could be very upsetting.
Yeah, we have some updates on that. We have a District 5 legislator that's retiring. We also have, some big news from Minot Air Force Base that we forgot to talk about yesterday.
We need to talk about that as well.
Where do you want to start?
Well, what I want to do is go to a quick break.
That's what I thought.
So we can get this segment divided out. And Then we'll be back after the break to talk about all of that. So stick around for 60 seconds. We'll be back.
In the demanding world of oil and gas, precision, safety, and efficiency are non-negotiable. Unmanned operator drone services revolutionizes how you monitor, inspect, and manage your operations. With cutting-edge technology and expert operators, we deliver real-time data, detailed reports, and actionable insights for our valuable clients. Why risk the safety of your team or waste precious time? Our drones access even the most challenging areas with ease, reducing downtime and enhancing safety across your sites. We take the guesswork out of your projects by offering LiDAR, mapping, and inspection services so that your projects stay safe, on budget, and on time. Unmanned operator drone services, where technology meets safety, precision, and efficiency. Contact us today to elevate your operations. Yes, pun intended.
Hello and welcome back.
Unbelievable.
We're back.
Unbelievable. We had this queued up. It's going to work great. And then it just all freaked out. Because, you know what? It's life. Anyways, we got some big stuff to talk about here. Randy Burkhardt, legislator, senator from District 5, he announces yesterday, formal press release, that he is retiring after many years in the state legislature.
After, what was it, 16 years, I think? He's been there for a long time.
He first campaigned for the position in 2010.
There you go. Yeah, that shows he has done his service for the city of Minot, and I'm really interested to see who's going to be replacing him at the Senate level. I'm wondering if you'll see one of the two reps there, Fisher or Lauser, step up, or if you're going to see someone else try to get into the race there.
Yeah, he had the opportunity to serve one more term before term limits would actually affect his ability to run again. And so now there are those two state reps. But yeah, and I guess it doesn't matter because there's the constitutional amendment or not constitutional amendment, but there's the ballot
initiative. A ballot measure that the state legislature put forward last year to get on the ballot this year so they can have some adjustments for the time period on their term limits.
But that wouldn't affect the current representatives at this point.
No.
So
it's interesting that he didn't want to stick around for that one more, but also I can't blame him. He's done his time in Bismarck, and
I respect that.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
Yeah, I don't say. I'm not saying you don't.
Yeah, no. It's a good decision to step down when you're ready and not force something.
Right. So
good for Andy.
He was actually elected to the Minot City Council in 2002.
Yeah, back when we had the 14 councilmen in 7 different wards.
Good for that time.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was surprising news, but I think it was definitely. There's a lot of people that expressed disappointment, sadness, because it's kind of the end of an era and a guy that put a lot into the city.
Very well-known person around town, very well-known family around town, the Burkhards. Friend of the show, Kevin, of course, his younger brother, and they're very, very well-known, very town and community-oriented people, and love to see what they do for the community, and interested to see where they go going forward here.
Definitely be keeping an eye on it to see what's next. So that was a big deal. Also,
I wonder if before we get off that, obviously I mentioned a couple, hopefully we'll see if some representatives step up to run, but on the Republican side, but also it'll be interesting to see if the Democrats get a candidate for that, because they already have 2 representative candidates in District 5. So if they do get a Senate candidate, that could be interesting to see a full slate going in District 5.
Yeah, it will be. Obviously, there's already some competition for the general election.
Some rumblings going on there for sure.
For the general election.
Yeah.
There's already competition, and we'll figure out what goes on in the primary.
Exactly.
Earlier this week, it was Monday. There was a statement that was put out by the security response at Minot Air Force Base. 5th Bomb Wing security forces were informed by the Ward County Sheriff's Department of alleged threatening statements made by a local individual. February 2nd, 2026, security forces immediately implemented increased security measures, including a search for the person of interest. Security forces detained and subsequently searched the person of interest at the installation gate. No weapons or dangerous materials were discovered during the search. There's no active threat to Minot Air Force Base or the schools on base. The individual was turned over to the Ward County Sheriff's Department, and this incident remains under investigation. This is a statement that was released on Monday on the heels of reports that there was a active shooter on base. This is real reports that came out, something that we followed along, that there was an active shooter on base and that they were going and targeting a school.
Yep.
That was
the reports that were going around on Monday.
And that was within Facebook groups and stuff.
Yep.
For the base. The official statements contradict that.
Heavily so, yeah.
Heavily so. But it's been difficult, although it looks like probably close to right. It's kind of weird how this whole thing is spiraled fast.
It really did, and it's unfortunate. So I have a feeling that...
But I don't... It's unfortunate, but it feels like there was like some weird information being given out. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go to next, because I really feel like I can't blame a single soul for hearing about this and getting worked up about it. But you look at the bigger picture and you wonder how this got construed that far, because when they found him and searched him, there wasn't even a weapon found on his person. But yet you have the active shooter reports, and I assume that it just someone heard either the threat or someone heard.
But it was the schools, I believe, went into lockdown.
They did.
And stuff. So it wasn't just that there was a lot of security precautions taken, and so there was concern that went out, like, hey, like the schools are locked down, so it felt like
like they had the helicopters out on base. I heard it was a scary situation for a while there, a good hour or two.
Yeah, it was. Thankfully, no harm was done.
Not by any stretch. Hate to hear about that possibility in our community, and great to see the response from Ward County Sheriff Department and the base and making sure that there wasn't a threat and this was taken care of fast and readily enough, but also don't want to see things have to spiral when they don't have to. And that's, I think, where the real question is how did it end up spiraling to that point?
Yeah, well, I think it went down to some of the measures that were taken with the schools being locked down and stuff like that, that it increased, like, okay, there's a threat towards the school, stuff's going on. And obviously I can't imagine what it would be like to get a message that of some type, however it's released by the school, that the school is on lockdown at a normal situation where, hope it never happens, but Minot North is on lockdown. You're like, oh no. And so as a parent, what are you going to do? You're going to drive to the school. You're going to be in the vicinity of the school, so that way you can get in there as soon as you can, right? How much worse is it when it's on base? When something like that happens, the whole base goes on lockdown. You can't even get on base.
Yep. You get stuck waiting, trying to get on.
What a terrible feeling.
Yeah, that's got to be. And also to that same point then, because you make a very good point that when you hear that, you want to get there as soon as possible. You want to help. You want to do what you can. You want to get your kid. But also, big picture, objectively thinking, is it better to have everybody rushing their way there immediately?
Right. Or
is it better for the situation to try to start to be resolved before that word gets out?
Probably up for debate.
It fully is. And I think it would be very, it's where a lot of people stand. And if you have kids, you're going to think differently on it. So I fully understand that. But it's one of those, it's a tricky situation. You have to have...
Sad deal. Thankfully, it got resolved peaceably.
Yeah.
And
Ward County base MPs did a great job with this. And everything is fine now. So love to see that.
Yeah, it's good news for sure. But definitely an interesting story. Now we got a big story.
Anything else you want to touch on before we go into this one?
Let's jump in.
All right. Well, we've been covering this at least fairly loosely for a while now, probably at least a year, I would like to think. But the situation with the Daniel Brejo alleged murder that happened on Christmas Eve 2023 has again come into the news. There were some more requests and details that were let out. Some of the evidence was able to be seen this week, and it looks like, before I go there, preface, Minot Daily News, Charles Crane had a great article come out this morning. He's been following this along via print very closely. I know KXKMOT also have some touch-ups on it as well, but check that out this morning. However, I really think that this, unfortunately, looks like this could have been botched by MPD. And I really don't...
Of course, remember that this was Christmas
in 2023.
Yeah,
this was
a long time ago.
Almost like 2.5 years ago. Like, this is when the old regime was in power.
Whoa.
for I mean, I don't want to throw anyone currently under the bus.
No, I hear you.
This
but
was,
regime.
I guess maybe, bad terminology, but when old leadership was in charge, better words.
For sure.
And looking at I don't want to say facts, but at the reports coming out at this point, it sounds like there was mishandling of the crime scene investigation. There was mishandling of the alleged murder weapon.
So in the Minot Daily News article, Brejo's motion identified 4 alleged violations, which include the unlawful execution of a daytime search warrant at the alleged crime scene at night in absence of any exigent circumstances, that investigators unlawfully exceeded the scope of the warrant and an amended warrant to search the scene of the alleged shooting, that Brejo's firearm was unlawfully seized without a warrant, and that his clothing was unlawfully seized. Now, of course, this is a motion that's, of course,
coming from the defense.
Right, yeah. So they're trying things for sure, but it looks like there may be grounds for these things that they're trying.
Yeah, and these motions, they reference to different parts of people's depositions and different evidentiary parts that we maybe aren't able to see yet.
Right.
But they have references and reference points to reasons that they say this.
To evidence.
Yes, and when you start saying that you have misused warrants, that's a pretty big thing too. That's something that normally that isn't just something one cop can accidentally kind of mess up on. That's something that has to go through a few different steps and processes before it's approved.
So, listen to this. According to court documents, Brejo was immediately detained and cuffed. One officer located a handgun on the bathroom floor near Brejo. The officer allegedly picked up the firearm without gloves, stuck it under his waistband behind his back, an action which Brejo asserts mishandled and contaminated the evidence requiring its suppression. So you're talking about a potential alleged or potential murder weapon that was handled without gloves and then not put into a plastic bag or something, or an evidence bag or something like that. It was just stuck into a waistband.
And from the reports, I don't think it was immediately resolved either. I think it took a while for that to get taken out and actually put into evidence. But I could be a little off on that. But also timelines are a little sketchy in this whole story as they've been coming out, as we've been starting to see more and more too. There was also a very, very interesting part at the end of that article too. The very last paragraph, if you go down, it says that for his part, El Dweck ordered to compel the surviving female victim to provide the defense access to her medical and psychological records covering a year prior to the shooting.
That is an interesting move.
Yes.
You know why?
Why is that?
I don't know.
Well, okay.
He was asking you a question.
Oh, okay. I thought that was rhetorical. I'm sorry. No, I do have a reason why that's interesting. Generally, you don't see the defendant requesting to see the medical records from the victim in a crime here. This isn't something that you often see happen.
But you don't have a victim like this often either,
either,
in that there has been
multiple
appearances on media and stuff like that.
Yes.
Very active before the trial even happened.
Yes. And that's a really weird tidbit to the whole thing. I know there was...
I know this is also an interesting field because there's been a lot of talk around this. According to court documents, an amended search warrant was later issued after several mason jars filled with raw marijuana buds were located in Van Pelt's apartment.
Yeah. They're... And from what I gathered, there might have been some of that is okay, but also it sounds like there was a lot in there, which more than like a little bit. And when you have several mason jars full, that's a hefty amount. Jars. And also in a law enforcement officer's home is an interesting tidbit, but past that, it'll be interesting to see what more comes from that. There's been some rumors flying, but nothing really solidified, and I really look forward to seeing...
But this definitely feels the fire on some of the rumors.
Yeah, 100%. There has been a lot of smoke, and starting to see a little bit of flame there now. And
what do you think happens? I think that's the question. When you start seeing stuff like this, what do you think happens?
Well, here's the thing. We're like 6 weeks away from when trial's supposed to start.
Yeah.
They haven't even started talking about like juror questionnaires at this point. I would be immensely shocked if this trial takes place in the middle of March as it's supposed to at this point.
Would you be surprised if it takes place in Minot?
Frankly, I'd be a little surprising, which it's still supposed to at this point. It's all supposed to take place here in 6 weeks from now. I really think, and again, this is pure speculation on my part, I really think you're going to start seeing some motions to either try to get this location changed, or at least get it delayed a little bit, because there was so much expectation that this was going to be accepted as a plea deal that at the beginning of this, a lot of people on both sides, both parties, didn't start filing a lot of the proper paperwork and motions until Judge Eldweek denied that plea bargain. And so you had
I wonder why he did now. Do you wonder why he did?
I very much do. I think it was
because at first it was like, well, because obviously there shouldn't be a plea.
Yeah.
He needs to serve more time than just a plea. But now you're like, maybe he's on the other side where like, wait a minute, there's not enough stuff to even warrant a plea deal here. You guys need to get this evidence sorted.
Yeah. And again, there's some, if you look back at another very prominent case that came to trial last year in the Minot area, and you look at some people involved in this one, you're going to see some names that are the same on the Minot Police Department side. Not the original ones, but the ones that took it up for that second time. And that's neither here nor there, but it's interesting to see how that's coming to light on both sides.
We won't ask him what he's trying to say there.
I don't know what I'm trying to say there yet. I have to figure that one out a little more, but
Okay.
it's
Sounds like a premature one there.
Well, I'm not going to go there. I think it was right to put that into the ocean.
Okay. See, he is trying to say something, but he doesn't want to say what he's trying to say.
You betcha.
That's all right.
And
please don't.
Please, everyone, go read this article, look into this a little bit more, because this is an incredibly weird case where you don't see a lot of these things happening simultaneously in a single case, because we haven't even talked about the Beck stuff in this.
Yeah.
And how they've submitted an expedited motion to stay in order from District Court Judge Eldweek, requiring the broadcaster to provide subpoenaed interview footage with the surviving female victim to the court for an in-camera review. And it sounds like the Judge Eldweek is going to take that himself and review it before he then makes a decision on if it should be permitted publicly or if that's something that should just be held private to that organization.
What an incredible thing. And they're trying to say freedom of press, but I think what the court is trying to say, if you're in the middle of a trial, you shouldn't be going to the press.
And I think we didn't directly say it, but we had questions when this was all coming out last spring about how this could potentially affect the trial. And
now it is.
At least partially, and we'll see how much it really does here coming up. But
do you think I think my question is, and it's way more premature, and this is completely speculative. Do you think Brejo serves more time? Do you think he gets? What do you think? Like, it seems like there's an actual chance that he can get off.
Yeah, that's where
and obviously you're innocent till proven guilty. So like that needs to be said.
100%.
But it seems like from that part of it, it happened. It's just a matter of how does all the evidence line up and stuff like that.
And further than that, not just how does it line up, but what gets approved and admitted into evidence.
Right.
What has to be thrown out. It'll be interesting. We will keep following it. I really hope that this comes to a reasonable conclusion. But again, I wouldn't be shocked to see if either the location or the dates of this trial get changed.
Yeah. I think the dates is like, you're used to that with trials, getting pushed. Location is always an interesting one that feels like happens in North Dakota more often than it's got to happen in North Dakota more often than in other places with the big stuff.
Just our rural tight knit communities, word gets out a lot better, and you see that stuff happen.
Okay, that's an interesting one. We'll keep tracking it here at the Dakota, and
you betcha. We'll stick around, and Jonathan, we're going to miss you here for the next couple weeks.
But I've got a big question for you.
What's that?
There's a big game that's going to happen on Sunday.
There is. It's the big game.
It's the big game.
Yes, as everyone calls it.
Who's going to win?
I have to go with the West Coast team.
The West Coast team.
From Seattle.
Seahawks.
Yes.
It's West Coast versus East Coast.
Yeah, it is. You got Seattle and Boston. I got to go Seahawks. Who's your pick?
Well, it's the Seahawks. That wasn't a question. We knew that. But honestly, not upset about the Super Bowl.
I don't. I like it football wise. I don't want to see the Patriots do it again. I'm tired of them.
I hate the Patriots.
I thought I didn't, but now they're good, and I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah, but the thing is if the Chiefs were in there, you'd be fine with it.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be even more upset.
You would?
Yes, I'm far and tired of the Chiefs.
Really? Because I thought, and I got this wrong, obviously. So you're gonna let me know about that. But I thought you were more supportive of the Chiefs than you were the Patriots.
Maybe like 10 years ago.
Okay, I don't count.
I don't think,
So is the Chiefs dynasty over?
no, they'll be back.
They'll be back. Really?
Maybe not next year, but they'll be back. Patrick Mahomes still has a few years.
How old is he?
He's like
Probably
29, 30.
Oh, he's 29.
Maybe
How does
he might
guy-
be 31 at this
guy
point.
takes something to stay young. Yeah, he's 30.
Okay, there we go. It's old Pat Mahomes. He's doing it to him.
Okay, so all right.
I would
so
rather
the
see
Chiefs
the-
are not done.
Yes, I would rather see the Patriots than the Chiefs in the
What
Super
about the
Bowl.
Eagles?
I don't like the Eagles.
You don't like any team after you hit Missouri.
No, I don't like teams that have beat up on the Vikings or teams that have
Okay, well then how are you going for the
too much
Seahawks?
dominance. Well, because they have Sam Darnold.
That should be the reason why you don't
No,
like the Seahawks.
I want to see him win a Super Bowl so I can again point at the Vikings and be like, "You failed again."
Interesting. So this is the way it works being a Vikings fan. You go come at my team, I'm gonna be mad at you. Also, I will go at my team because my team is trash.
100%. I can talk smack about my own team, but if someone else starts coming at my team, I'm going to defend them. It's like I won't say that. Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You guys finally getting your GM stuff sorted out?
no, it's even more convoluted.
I heard that you guys were like going to go after some guy, special teams person as your GM or something.
I think. Well, right now they have their like long-term cap guy who's like a top-tier cap like guru in the NFL for like 25 years. He's their acting GM, but in reality, from everything I've heard and listened to, it sounds like Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, and Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator, are going to be pretty much running the draft room and free agency room this spring. So Vikings fall flat on their face next year. Expect to see a new coaching staff as well as new regime.
Interesting. Sounds like
It's going to be a mess in Minnesota again, and I love it.
Are you guys going to win a Super Bowl
No, probably not.
ever
I would like to say yes, but I mean,
in your lifetime? There we go.
well, the podcast I listen to about the Vikings is just win a Super Bowl before we die. So I hope so. I would like to hope in the next 50 to 60 years the Vikings could win one, but I won't say.
I like how when the page for who the Vikings top GM candidates, 12 potential names by the New York Times, when I go click on that page, it says page not found. I feel like it's just like perfect.
I love it. Isn't it supposed to be from The Athletic? Didn't New York Times buy The Athletic?
Yeah, I don't know. Nonetheless,
They're-
page not found.
The New York Times doesn't know how to link their stuff, so if they
So-
can't do it right,
Don't get mad at me.
exactly.
Nonetheless, that doesn't really matter. There's other
Seahawks by 10. That's my pick.
Seahawks by 10. Really, you don't think it's
I'm-
gonna be
I
close?
didn't-
Honestly, Patriots probably win, but I'm going for the Seahawks.
See, because everyone's picking the Seahawks, I think the Patriots could win by like 2.
Yeah,
Squeak it out.
I mean,
but
the thing is if they start losing, you never know. Vrabel might suit up.
Yeah.
You know,
I think he's a very, very good coach. I was shocked.
but McDonald, I think is a very good coach.
Yeah,
too.
he's right up there. Like,
Yeah.
you don't often see a coach in their second and first year with their respective teams go to a Super Bowl
No, but the way that McDonald
or a big game.
approaches it, he just has such a good. It feels like he has a good approach. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't follow that closely, honestly.
It
I follow in the playoffs.
fair. From what I've seen, it sounds like the Ravens wish they would have been able to keep him as the Harbaugh replacement.
So then they got the McDonald replacement,
Pretty much.
Jesse Mentor.
I love it. Anything else you got, my guy? Anything final wrap ups? Basketball trade deadline tomorrow. James Harden got
Where's
traded.
Giannis going?
Lakers, of course.
No, I heard that Minnesota was clearing room.
Timberwolves are trying. They
They got
traded
rid
Mike
of Conley
Conley.
just to hope. So obviously Conley didn't mean much to them.
No, well, he's been playing pretty rough this year.
Gotcha. They just needed an excuse.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the Warriors are like pursuing hardcore, and I hope that happens.
That'd be hilarious, but I don't see it happening.
No, I hope it happens.
I think the Timberwolves are a very likely destination. I could
course
see
you
that.
do.
I could see the Knicks too
Homer.
working something out.
Nah, Giannis to the Warriors. That just it works.
No way. Giannis to the Lakers. Be Kareem 2.0. Of
Why don't you don't like the Warriors though?
course. Tired one too much.
Yeah, they haven't won in like years.
3 years, 4.
Yeah, we'll see about this.
What, 2022, I believe, was their last one when they beat the Celtics in 6.
Yeah, that's probably right.
I know my basketball history, folks. Thanks for everyone still sticking on. We just rambling now.
2022.
Appreciate all you folks.
All right, sounds good. That's you have all the facts. Giannis is going to.
Lakers.
No, they're not. Like, be real.
Timberwolves.
Okay, Timberwolves. Giannis is going to the Timberwolves. Seahawks are going to win the
Super Bowl.
big game. And any other big news around the sports world?
Minnesota Wild are going to not trade for anyone at their deadline.
Yeah, but they're good.
They are good. Minnesota Wild are going to win a playoff series. I'll say that.
Win a playoff series. And Mariners, they traded, they got their guy.
Mariners to the World Series.
They're going to the World Series.
Yep. Going to lose to the Dodgers.
No, Dodgers are going to get hit by the injury bug.
They'll still have enough.
No, they won't. Can they win without Ohtani?
Yes.
Can they win it all without Ohtani?
Yes.
No, they can't.
We'll see.
No, they can't.
Find out next year on MLB Baseball.
All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back this coming. I won't be back.
I'll be here. I'll be here next
Tyler
week.
will be back Tuesday.
Tuesday at 9.
That's the plan. 9 a.m. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.